Intelligence isn't what you think. Have you ever caught yourself talking out loud when you're alone? Or maybe you stay up until 3 in the morning, even though you know you should be sleeping. Perhaps people have called you messy, disorganized, or even a bit odd. Here's something that might surprise you: these so-called weird habits might actually be signs of high intelligence. For decades, researchers have studied the behavioral patterns of highly intelligent individuals, and what they've discovered challenges everything we think we know about what smart people look like. Intelligence doesn't always show up in perfect grades or tidy desks. Sometimes, it reveals itself in the strangest ways. In this video, we're going to explore 7 unusual habits that science has linked to higher IQ levels. And before you dismiss these as pseudoscience, I want you to know that each one is backed by legitimate psychological research. So if you've ever felt like your quirky behaviors made you different, stick around. You might just discover that your brain has been operating on a higher level all along. Talking to yourself. Let's start with something that most people try to hide: talking to yourself. Picture this. You're walking through a grocery store, quietly muttering your shopping list. Or you're at home, verbally working through a problem. Maybe you even have full conversations with yourself while you're alone. If people catch you doing this, they might give you strange looks. Society has taught us that talking to yourself is a sign of madness. But here's the truth: it's actually a sign of cognitive sophistication. A study published in the Quarterly Journal of Experimental Psychology found that people who talk to themselves actually perform better on cognitive tasks. The researchers discovered that self-directed speech helps organize thoughts, clarify objectives, and improve focus. Think about it this way. When you externalize your thoughts through speech, you're essentially creating a feedback loop. Your brain processes information twice, once when you think it, and again when you hear it. This double processing strengthens neural pathways and improves problem-solving abilities. Highly intelligent people often use self-talk as a tool. They're not just randomly mumbling. They're engaging in a sophisticated form of cognitive processing that helps them work through complex problems more effectively. So the next time someone catches you having a conversation with yourself, don't be embarrassed. You're just giving your high-functioning brain exactly what it needs. Being a night owl. Do you find yourself most productive when everyone else is asleep? Do your best ideas come at midnight, 1 a.m., or even later? For years, society has praised early risers. We've all heard the saying, "the early bird gets the worm." But research suggests that night owls might actually have the cognitive advantage. A study conducted at the University of Madrid examined the sleeping patterns of over 1,000 teenagers and found that those who stayed up late and woke up later scored higher on tests measuring inductive reasoning, a key component of general intelligence. Another study published in the journal Personality and Individual Differences found that people with higher IQs tend to go to bed later and wake up later than those with lower IQs. The researchers suggested this might be because more intelligent individuals are better at overriding their biological instincts, essentially creating their own schedules rather than following the rhythms that evolution programmed into us. Think about it from an evolutionary perspective. For most of human history, staying awake at night was dangerous. There were predators, limited visibility, and no productive activities that required artificial light. So people who stayed up late were essentially going against millions of years of evolutionary programming. This ability to override ancestral patterns suggests cognitive flexibility, a hallmark of high intelligence. Of course, this doesn't mean you should force yourself to become a night owl. But if you naturally gravitate toward late nights, your brain might just be wired for complex thinking. Living in controlled chaos. Let's talk about messiness. Look around your workspace right now. Is it cluttered? Are there papers scattered around, books stacked in seemingly random piles, coffee cups from 3 days ago? Most productivity experts will tell you that a messy desk equals a messy mind. But science tells a different story. Researchers at the University of Minnesota conducted a fascinating experiment. They divided participants into two groups. One worked in a perfectly organized, clean room, while the other worked in a messy, disorganized space. The results surprised everyone. While people in the tidy room were better at following conventions and playing it safe, those in the messy room demonstrated more creativity and generated more interesting, innovative ideas. The lead researcher, Kathleen Voss, explained that orderly environments encourage conventional thinking and playing by the rules. Messy environments, on the other hand, seem to inspire breaking free from tradition, which can produce fresh insights. Think about some of history's greatest minds. Albert Einstein famously said, "If a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, of what, then, is an empty desk a sign?" His own workspace was notoriously chaotic. Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, and countless other innovators have been photographed with messy workspaces. The clutter isn't a sign of laziness. It's evidence of a mind so engaged with complex problems that organizational systems become secondary. This doesn't mean you should stop cleaning entirely. But maybe that, controlled chaos, you've been apologizing for is actually your brain's way of prioritizing deep thinking over surface-level organization. Preferring solitude. Do you often choose staying home over going to parties? Do you need alone time to recharge, even after spending time with people you love? In a world that celebrates extroversion and constant social connection, preferring solitude can make you feel like something's wrong with you. But intelligence research suggests the opposite. A groundbreaking study published in the British Journal of Psychology examined the relationship between intelligence, population density, and life satisfaction. The researchers found something remarkable. While most people reported being happier with more social interaction, highly intelligent individuals reported lower life satisfaction the more frequently they socialized. This doesn't mean intelligent people are antisocial or unhappy. It means they derive satisfaction differently. Their brains are constantly processing complex information, and social interaction, while sometimes enjoyable, can actually be mentally draining. Think about it this way. If your brain is always working on multiple levels, analyzing patterns, solving problems, and making connections, social situations become exponentially more demanding. You're not just having a conversation, you're simultaneously reading body language, processing subtext, managing social dynamics, and maintaining engagement. Solitude provides intelligent minds with something crucial, the mental space to process, reflect, and create without the cognitive load of social performance. Many of history's greatest thinkers and creators were known for their need for solitude. Isaac Newton, Nikola Tesla, and Emily Dickinson all spent significant time alone, using that space to develop ideas that changed the world. If you crave alone time, you're not weird. You're giving your high-powered brain the environment it needs to function at its best. Constant questioning and curiosity. Do you ask, why, a lot? Do you challenge assumptions, even when they seem obvious? Do you find yourself going down research rabbit holes at 2 a.m. because you needed to understand something? If people have ever called you argumentative, difficult, or too curious for your own good, your intelligence might be showing. Research consistently shows that intellectual curiosity is one of the strongest predictors of intelligence. A study published in the Journal of Individual Differences found that curious people perform better on intelligence tests and show greater academic achievement throughout their lives. But here's what makes this a strange habit: most people stop asking questions after childhood. They accept social norms, follow established rules, and don't challenge the status quo. It's easier, more comfortable, and socially safer. Highly intelligent people never lose that childlike curiosity. They question everything, not because they're trying to be difficult, but because their brains are wired to seek understanding. They see gaps in logic that others miss. They notice inconsistencies. They want to know not just what happens, but why it happens and how it could happen differently. This can make conversations exhausting for others. When you ask, "But why?" for the fifth time, people might get frustrated. They think you're being pedantic or challenging their authority. But you're not. You're just operating with a mind that refuses to accept surface-level explanations. Your brain demands depth, context, and complete understanding. This relentless curiosity is what drives innovation, scientific discovery, and societal progress. So keep asking questions. Keep digging deeper. Your brain is doing exactly what a highly intelligent brain should do. Being easily distracted. Here's one that might surprise you: being easily distracted. If you struggle to focus on one thing at a time, if your mind constantly wanders during conversations or meetings, if you start multiple projects and jump between them, you might think you have an attention problem. But research suggests something different. A study conducted at Northwestern University found that people who are easily distracted by irrelevant stimuli actually have higher working memory capacity and creativity scores. The researchers discovered that highly intelligent people have difficulty filtering out distractions not because their brains are weak, but because they're actually too efficient. Their brains are constantly scanning the environment for patterns, connections, and potentially relevant information. Think about what's actually happening when you get distracted. Your brain notices something, makes a connection, sees a pattern, or identifies something potentially important. Less intelligent brains simply filter this out as noise. Your brain recognizes it as potentially valuable data. This is called leaky attention, and while it can make everyday tasks more challenging, it's also the cognitive mechanism behind breakthrough thinking. Some of humanity's greatest discoveries happened because someone's attention wandered in the right direction. Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin because he noticed something others dismissed as contamination. Isaac Newton developed his theories because he got distracted by a falling apple. Their distracted minds made connections that focused minds missed. So yes, being easily distracted can make it harder to sit through boring meetings or complete repetitive tasks. But it also means your brain is constantly working, constantly connecting, constantly discovering. That's not a bug. It's a feature. Heightened sensitivity. The final habit is heightened sensitivity, both emotional and sensory. Do you get overwhelmed in crowded, noisy places? Do movies or stories affect you deeply, sometimes for days? Are you sensitive to textures, sounds, or lights in ways that others aren't? Research has found a strong correlation between intelligence and sensitivity. A study published in the journal Intelligence found that people with higher IQs tend to have what psychologists call sensory processing sensitivity, meaning they process sensory information more deeply and thoroughly. Your brain isn't just experiencing the world, it's analyzing it at multiple levels simultaneously. A song isn't just music, it's emotional content, technical composition, lyrical meaning, and personal association all at once. A conversation isn't just an exchange of words, it's tone, context, history, and emotional subtext. This depth of processing creates richer experiences, but it also makes you more vulnerable to overwhelm. Your brain is working harder, processing more information, and feeling things more intensely than most people. Many highly intelligent people throughout history exhibited this heightened sensitivity. Mozart was known for his extreme emotional responses. Darwin described himself as deeply affected by music and poetry. Einstein spoke about his profound emotional connection to nature and beauty. This sensitivity isn't weakness. It's your brain operating at full capacity, experiencing and processing life in all its complexity. So there you have it. 7 strange habits that might indicate you have a high IQ: talking to yourself, being a night owl, living in controlled chaos, preferring solitude, constantly questioning everything, being easily distracted, and experiencing heightened sensitivity. If you recognized yourself in several of these habits, congratulations. Your brain might be working at a level you never fully appreciated. But here's the most important takeaway: intelligence isn't about fitting a mold. It's not about perfect grades, tidy desks, or following all the rules. Real intelligence often looks messy, unconventional, and even strange to the outside world. Those quirky habits you've been apologizing for, they might just be your brain's way of optimizing for creativity, deep thinking, and genuine understanding. So stop apologizing for being different. Stop trying to force yourself into patterns that don't fit. Your strange habits aren't flaws to fix, they're features to embrace. If this video resonated with you, let me know in the comments which of these 7 habits you recognized in yourself.